All right, what's up, cheap seaters? It's Nick,
And Adam.
and welcome back to Cheering from the Cheap Seats, now presented by the Variety Sports Network. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. Well, yeah, been a little under the weather the past couple of days, so I'm hanging in there. So just please forgive me if there's some coughing and whatnot. I'll do my best to mute myself.
It's okay. It happens to the best of us. So I feel like it's been quite a while since we've done one of these episodes. For those that don't know, we started a whole new episode, and that's kind of been taking up a lot of our time. But we are finally back for a new Cheering for the Cheap Seats.
That's right. Where the last episode was the sports show tournament, correct?
Yep, which is something that we still have going on right now. I got a little lackadaisical with posting the tournament polls or voting or whatever you want to call it, but we still have that going on.
So don't fret. We'll crown a winner.
Yeah, maybe if we have time at the end, kind of go over where we're at in that right now. But right now we have a new fun topic to cover this episode, and we're quite excited for this one. It's something we've been wanting to do for a while.
Absolutely.
So we actually had a tough time trying to figure out what to do for this episode, and then we both kind of realized, hey, there's a topic that we've been wanting to talk about for a long time, and that is our top 10 favorite sports video games of all time. So we're like, hey, we need a topic. This is one we've been wanting to do. So why not do it now?
Oh yeah. I'm super excited to get into these, and these are we'll get into it more later when we start listening.
Yeah. Before we do that, I guess we'll take care of a little bit of business before we get started.
Yes. So this episode is brought to you by the good people at SeatGeeks, the number one source for any sporting event, any event really, concerts, plays, theater, what have you. You can search for tickets by cheapest price, by the best seat, or my favorite, by deal score. So you can they give you a nice, easy number to rate that ticket to take judges by the price you're paying versus the seat. So you always know you're getting the best deal. So the next time you're buying a ticket for your next event, go to SeatGeek and enter promo code VSN at checkout for $20 off your first purchase. That's promo code VSN.
All right, we're also presented by In the Clutch, which is a really cool sports apparel website. And, we were looking at it before, and they have some really cool designs from any sport you can think of. So your baseball or your football or your basketball, perfect for any sports fan like we are. And that promo code is Variety Sports, and enter that, and you get 10% off your whole order. So that is 10% off your whole order if you use the promo code Variety Sports. So give it a try. All right. So, I feel like this topic is pretty straightforward. So I don't feel like there's a whole lot of introduction. I guess the only thing is, when we do these lists, we try to give some kind of caveat. So I guess the only caveat is doing this, it kind of had to be an actual sport or kind of based on an actual sport.
Mm-hmm.
So, nothing too wild and crazy. But that was really the only thing that I think of that we gave ourselves when making these lists.
So League of Legends esport doesn't count.
No esports. Sorry.
That's
pushing it a little bit.
I'll give the caveat of my list is not the 10 best sports games. It is my 10 favorite sports games.
No,
They
definitely.
can be the worst game on the planet. I don't care. I love these games.
That's I mean that's pretty much how I base my list around. Is these are ones that most of them are games that I grew up with.
Mm.
So it's ones that I hold near and dear to my heart. Like you said, they could be the worst games on the planet, or people could absolutely hate them. But I grew up liking them, so that's why they're on my list. So
yeah, and
technically it says top 10 favorite sports games. It doesn't say top 10 best sports games.
there you go. And as usual for me is I always have a hard time ranking them. So I more just have a list of 10, and they can go in any order. So I'm just gonna, when it's my turn, I'm just gonna pick one and go with it.
Spin the wheel.
Yep.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Stop. All right. So would you like to kick this off, or would you like me to kick this off tonight?
I can go for it. My first, and also before we get into it real quick, so we always, if we have the same game, we will talk about it at the higher ranking. Whoever has it ranked higher, we will wait and talk about it at that spot.
Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be too many, but I mean, there might be a couple that you and I cross. So
yeah. So my first is this is one I debated on if it was actually considered a sports game, but I think we decided it could be. Is Forza, not Motorsport, Forza Horizon 5. And the only reason this is a brand new game, and by brand new, it came out last year. And I have already put hours and hours into this game because it's racing. So it's free roam. So yes, you have street racing, you have drag racing, you've got off-road racing. It's just collect hundreds and hundreds of different cars, endless possibilities of customization, and it's online. So each month they have a new event where you can collect this car, and I feel like I gotta collect them, I gotta get them, So yeah, but so it may be on the fence of sports game or not, but it is racing. I consider racing a sport, so that's my first entry on my top 10.
No, I mean, I'm the more you describe it to me, the more I'm okay with this. Because I mean, if NASCAR and stuff like that is considered, then drag racing and off-road racing is. I mean, you can make that fall under the sports banner too. So yeah. And you said that they have different events and stuff. I mean, that's really nice because it's awesome when a game finds a way to keep bringing you back to playing it. Some games the developers release it and then they kind of forget about it. So
yeah, it's definitely one of those series where they are constantly releasing new content until the next game comes out.
Nice. Well, good. So my number 10 is also a racing game, a little bit older than yours. It is Sled Storm.
I've never heard of this.
Released on the original PlayStation in 1999.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so this isn't cars. In case you couldn't tell, this is like snowmobiles in the snow. Okay. So it's a snowmobile racing game. Really fun. I probably didn't beat this game, but I do remember just enjoying it. I mean, it's one of those games where you just pick it up every so often, and you're like, let me just run a few races. And it had a fantastic soundtrack. Like I remember playing this game and blaring Rob Zombie's Dragula because that was probably the main song on that soundtrack.
Yeah, so it's so fun. Like the thing we remember about a lot of these games is the music from them. Like so many on my list, I know it sticks in my mind because the soundtrack.
Oh yeah, there's a couple more have like this, but just from what I remember of this game, like it was a pretty big part of my childhood. So I had to include it at least number 10. So Sledstorm, number 10.
Okay. Yeah, that's a new one to me.
I think Amanda has it, so you might have to come over and play it sometime.
Yeah. You said it was what system?
The original PlayStation, PS1.
Okay. You have to try it out. Let's see. So back to me. My number 9.
You're number 9.
I'm just gonna go on up my list, how I had it written here, whatever. My only baseball game on this list.
Okay.
And it is not MLB.
Okay.
I discovered this game last year, I think, and it's so much fun with it. It is Super Mega Baseball 3.
Okay.
So it's not licensed, so there's not your MLB teams. It's made up teams, but and it at the surface it looks super cartoony and kiddie, but when you get into it, it is surprisingly deep and it's so fun to play. One, it's easier. The gameplay itself is a whole lot easier than like the show or whatever because it's not like a super realistic simulation. But I have a whole lot more fun playing this than I do any of the show games. And it's even if you get in, especially when you get in the franchise mode, it's so deep. Like you have players retire, you have injuries you have to deal with, and you can sign and add, and it's like, and you have like different positions. Like certain people have different traits, so like they're good when they're facing left-handed batters, and it's it's so fun.
Yeah. You and I have sat down and played this a couple times, and I agree. It's actually a really fun game. It's not one that I've picked up and played in depth like you have, but I mean it is a really fun game. And I like the simpler baseball games, and I have one further down my list, but like I love how realistic the show is and everything, but I hate how complicated it can be. So to pick up an easier baseball game is really nice sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, my number 9 is NBA Jam.
Yes, one that I left off of mine. I really didn't even think about when I was making it.
This one, I mean, I know that there's been a couple different releases, but I specifically remember this one for the original PlayStation. I think there was one for the Super Nintendo, if I'm thinking right. And then they released one in 2010 for like the PS3, but I specifically remember this one for the PS1. And just, I mean, if you don't know anything about NBA Jam, it's not your basic basketball simulation. It's 2-on-2, and it's very cartoony. Dunks and 3-pointers and everything are just so over the top. And then, of course, if you start making enough points, then you get on fire. And so it's a whole lot easier to do so. Yeah, he's on fire. So I just remember these games because they were super fun. A little frustrated because it was so easy to make a half court shot. And I remember the computer making so many half court shots on me. But I mean, just these games are so much fun. I had to include it on here. I think this is my only basketball game, so I had to include at least one basketball game. So it had to be this one.
Yeah, I don't have any basketball.
I know.
Oh, well.
It's okay. It's okay. I got it covered.
Yeah, you
All right. You're number 8.
My dog's making noise. So my number 8 is I'm gonna go with it's actually I forgot about until I was researching this, and then I remember I played this a lot when it came out. And I think UFC then. UFC Undisputed 2010.
Okay. Yeah.
So there was a bunch of UFC games before then. None of them were worth anything. Well, 2000. So Undisputed 2009 was the first one, and it was good. But this one was the one I really played a lot. It had Brock Lesnar on it, and you could play as obviously any of the fighters, or you could. The best part was making your own fighter and trying to form your own career, go to the UFC and go for whatever title you wanted to. And I think I feel like it was probably simpler compared to today's games because with
Yeah.
transitions and this and that, and you still had those, but I think they were easier to do. Or maybe I was younger and could actually. So, but yeah, so UFC Undisputed 2010.
Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't put any of the UFC games on here, but that's a really good one. I remember playing that one quite a bit too. Of course, I've never been one of those people that has been very good about doing like or even understanding some UFC like submission holds and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, when I created my fighter, I wanted him to be a straight brawler and just not scrap.
Oh yeah. I always like to do ground and pound, so I could take him down and then just beat him in the face.
Well on him, yeah. But no, UFC 2010 was a great one. That's a good choice.
Yeah.
My number 8 is NCAA Football 2004, released in 2003 on the PS2, original Xbox, and GameCube. And I had a hard time trying to pick which NCAA football game I wanted to include. I ultimately went with this one because I remember this is the one that I remember playing the most and just enjoying it. Back then, for that time, graphics were great, gameplay was fun, which is what I can't say that about a lot of recent like NCAA football games. I mean, it's just how it is. But this one definitely holds a special place in my
heart. Yeah. I had one on mine, but I'd take it off to make room for other stuff I wanted to include.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But yeah, so I think I include it. It would have been the 2014 just because that was the most recent one.
Gotcha.
And I remember it being very good. I would always, because they never had my school in it, Western Carolina. Yeah. I would always have to go online and download them to somebody has always created the team. So I think I even downloaded the whole Southern Conference teams and I put them in there. So
that was always a good thing about the most recent NCAA football games. And something I'm looking forward to with the new one is actually being able to go and download teams that are not necessarily in the game.
Oh yeah, they better let us do that. I'll be very disappointed.
Yeah, they'll be stupid if they don't, because that's the problem with the football games now is most of the games the servers have been taken down, so you can't get anything online.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to being able to do that again.
Let's see. Back to me. Number 7. So my first football game, NFL Street 3.
Ooh, okay.
Specifically the third one because I think this is the one I owned and played a lot of. It had Chad Johnson at the time, not a Chusinko cover. And it was so much fun just because it was like you would have the same people on offense playing on defense. And it was only like maybe 5-on-5, if that, or something. And just over the top passes and catches and just it was just a lot of arcade type fun.
Yeah. I remember jumping off the wall to complete a pass.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I love the concept of having the same players on offense and defense until you go, okay, well, Peyton Manning's my quarterback, and then also find out he's playing middle linebacker and he's slow as molasses. So you kind of had to work around that. But I mean, fun concept, and the games are super fun too. So I'm glad NFL Street made it on at least one of our lists.
Yeah.
So my number 7 is Blitz the League, released in 2005 on the original PlayStation 2 and original Xbox. Of course, a lot of people know about Blitz or NFL Blitz, which was your more arcadey NFL games. but most of the time after a play, you could hit somebody after the play, or just if the ball's being thrown to a receiver, you can knock them out the way without pass interference being called. So those games were fun, but this was the first Blitz game that was released that had no NFL licensing. And if I don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure this was the first ever M-rated sports game.
Yeah, I believe so.
Because this took what Blitz or NFL Blitz did, and multiplied it by 100. Because not only were you able to hit people after the play or whatnot, you could break bones. And if you broke a bone, then they have the little X-ray replay to where you see the bones break. You could, if one of your players got hurt, you could choose to inject them with steroids to heal them and put them back in the game if you wanted to do that. So it was a very mature look at a mature and extreme look at professional football. But I enjoyed it. It was fun just playing it and not knowing when a bone was on break, or choosing whether or not you're going to put a player back in the game by sticking his butt with steroids or something like that. So
yeah. This is one I was always curious about. I never played it, but I remember when it came out. And
oh man,
yeah, I should have read it or something.
Yeah, might try to find a copy so we can play.
Yeah. What was that? PS2?
Yeah, PS2 and original Xbox.
Okay.
Yep. So number 6.
Number 6. So I have written FIFA.
Okay.
I don't really have a specific FIFA because, in my opinion, they're just all the same game. I mean, I don't really tell a difference between one or the other, but they're still great.
Yeah.
I guess if I had to pick one, it would be, I think 17 was the one that had the journey. We played as a fictional character trying to make his career through the Premier League.
It was the very first one with any kind of story mode.
Yeah. And then I think 19 was good because that's the first year that they would allow. They had the license for Champions League, so that you could actually play the Champions League tournament in the game.
Okay.
So I guess it's cheating, including 2 games in one pick, but whatever. It's FIFA. FIFA's FIFA.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll allow it.
And the FIFA is considered one. Well, it's probably the most popular game in the world. Well, because soccer is a global sport. But I think the gameplay is just so much more, refined than your yearly Maddens and stuff. Like Madden, I feel like tries to change too much from year to year. Some brand new thing, and it sucks. But FIFA, they know what they're good at, and it's just solid from year to year.
Yeah, I don't have any. Go ahead.
I said, plus there's like 100 teams. You could be any national team. You could be any team from pretty much any league across the world. Whatever. So. Yeah.
I mean, FIFA does do a lot of things right. I mean, their games aren't perfect. I mean, no game's gonna be perfect. But I don't feel like they copy and paste, nearly as much as maybe Madden and even the show does sometimes. So I don't have any FIFAs on my list. I did have one in honorable mention, which when we get to honorable mentions, I can talk about more. But I mean, there's a lot of people who enjoy FIFA, so I feel like it should have made one of our lists, and it did. So
it's real quick, can we just talk about how sports games need to stop releasing a yearly edition? Just make one game and then just update it. Just update it with new rosters year to year.
Okay, but I mean, that'd be great for us, the players, but compared to, I mean, the developers want their money, so of course they're going to charge $60-$70 for a year release instead of $10 for an
Update.
update.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And I get it. It's not feasible, but it'd be better on my pocket.
no kidding. So all right, so my number 6 is Wii Sports.
Okay. I can go ahead and talk about it here. I had it higher, but we can talk about it here.
Okay. Of course, Wii Sports came free with the Nintendo Wii, and for those that don't know, it actually included 5 sports that you could play on that game, and it was tennis, baseball, bowling, golf, and boxing. And I just remember, well, for one, I remember being free, which was always nice. And to me, Wii Sports is the quintessential game to show off the motion control of the Wii remotes.
Yeah. Nintendo is never going to be the leader in graphics or anything like realisticness, but dang, they know how to make a fun game, try new things, and they do it well. And I don't know how many nights I've spent playing Wii bowling with my family when that game came out.
Oh yeah, bowling was definitely the most popular one around here too.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure I still hold the record on on that game because my sister actually played it a couple of weeks ago and we pulled up the bowling and yep, my name, all the records.
Well, there you go. You might hold that record for all time now.
Yep. They did come out with Switch Sports, which it's basically Wii Sports, so all the same games, and plus they added some, and you use the Joy-Con as the controller.
Okay.
So I haven't bought it yet, but I definitely plan to at some point.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to play it whenever you're able to pick up a copy.
Yeah.
Because Wii Sports was so much fun, so it'd be interesting to see what they did with the Switch controls and whatnot. Yeah. So, all right. You are number 5 then.
So, let's see.
Or did you do number 5 with your Wii Sports?
I used my 5 as Wii Sports since I went ahead and talked about it there. So
okay.
So
my number 5.
yeah, you're 5.
All right, so my number 5 is my first wrestling game on my list, and that is WWE SmackDown 2: Know Your Role. So this game, I mean, both of the original SmackDown games for the PS1 definitely hold special places in my heart. But this one, I remember enjoying a whole lot more because there was more features and whatnot on this game. This is the first one that I remember being able to put people through tables. So, of course, I'm going to remember that. This first one that I kind of remember being able to go backstage and fight. And this was also the first one I kind of remember having like the wrestlers like Videotrons or whatever, and have them walking out to the actual Videotron. So just this game introduced like this game just amazed me so much as a kid, and it still just holds a very special place in my heart. That I just could not I could not include this game.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever played this one. I don't think
we played it a little bit.
We did? Okay, well, I take that back.
Well, so I guess that just means we have to play a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good one. All
right.
So
you're number 4.
Go back to my. So we'll do my first wrestling game then.
Okay.
And this is by far not the greatest wrestling game ever, but WWE 13. And there's definitely it's on the newer side. It's the last one before it became 2K. And some of the 2Ks may be better than this with all their showcase modes. I thought about the one with Stone Cold, and you can play through his career. The one with the rest, 14, which is the first one with my career, and you can play through the WrestleManias. But I choose 13 because this is the one that got me back into wrestling. Like, I don't know why I picked this game out of Redbox one day, but I did. And they had the Attitude Era mode where you could play through pretty much all the biggest moments of the Attitude Era, which at that time I knew nothing about because I didn't watch Raw back in the day. I was a WCW kid. So it had CM Punk on the cover of it. And I just remember it made me from there playing that, going on Netflix, watching a bunch of the Attitude Era documentaries, and got me back into wrestling. And here I am.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like this one has a really special place in your heart too.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's how some of these are. Yeah, I don't remember too much of 13. I do kind of remember the Attitude Era playthrough, but I mean, like I said, I mean, this is one of those that apparently has a very special place in your heart. So
yeah. And like I said, the only reason I put it on here is because of that. For that reason alone, it was fun. I had a lot of fun playing it. So it's the first one I played of the newer games.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. All right, my number 4. I'm going back to wrestling. It is WWE SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain. Released in 2003 for the PlayStation 2. This one is a little bit higher than Know Your Role, mainly because even nowadays, if you go back and watch like gameplay of this game, the graphics are amazing. I mean, the graphics are amazing. The grapple system on this game was probably like an introduction, or probably the grapple system that you know in wrestling games now probably originated from this game. So, and then of course, like the interesting thing that I haven't seen in too many other wrestling games since this one was like if you start to actually, I feel like maybe most wrestling games do have this feature. If so, then it kind of originated here too. But like if you focus on different body parts, then you start to injure different body parts. So like if you do too many moves to like the gut or an arm or leg or head or whatnot, then it goes, it starts out normal, then it goes to yellow, orange, red, and then once it gets to red and you do a finishing move or whatever, it's easier to pin them. So I always like that. On the downside of that is most of the time your like heavy hitters, so like your Goldbergs or your Brock Lesnar's, would always injure people faster than some of your cruiserweights. So that was kind of frustrating when you're trying to play as a cruiserweight. But I mean, just this game was so much fun, and was also the first one that I remember introducing like two different ways to do a finishing move. So like Brock Lesnar would have two different ways to do F5. So like a long way and a short way. So just, I mean, it's kind of hard to describe without showing gameplay, but I mean, I don't know. There was just so much in this game that I really wish that I could find a copy and be able to play through it. But apparently everybody loves this game because this game is super expensive to find. So.
Yeah, it's crazy how expensive some of these old games are.
Yeah.
If you find them.
Did you ever play this one?
You said it was for PS2?
Yeah.
I don't think I did. I think the only I don't think I really played any of these. I played some of the like Raw versus SmackDown on like 360.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. This was the very last game that was just SmackDown. After this one was the first SmackDown versus Raw.
okay.
So, so
Yeah.
yeah. But
Well,
I mean, I adore this game. I wish I could find it.
yeah. Well, we'll keep a lookout for it. Maybe we'll find it one
Yeah.
day.
All right. So
Um,
you're number 3.
Number 3, I'm going with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Okay.
Uh,
I was wondering if this would make your list.
yeah. So the first one's great. Great soundtrack, but I vividly remember playing. I played the first one on 64, but I played 2 on the original PlayStation.
Mm.
Just the levels are great. The school and of course a great soundtrack, and it was just. And I think they started. This is the first one where they had some fun unlockable characters like Spider-Man.
Oh, okay. That is fun. I didn't realize
Yes.
that.
So I just not just by myself, but I remember me and my best friend at the time played it for hours. So and a lot of these games are, that's what it goes back to, just nostalgia of a Saturday night sleepover, just staying up until like 1 a.m. playing
Oh, yeah.
whatever. So
Oh yeah. Yeah, I never had I never owned any of the Tony Hawk games, but I remember it being one of the games on one of those PlayStation demo discs that came with the PlayStation magazine, and I remember playing the heck out of the demo. It's a shame that I never owned one of these games, but
yeah. Well, next time you come over, because I have the remastered of 1 and 2 on the PS4. So
okay. Well, sounds like a plan then. So my number 3 is MVP Baseball 2005.
okay.
Almost went with 2004 because I feel like maybe I played 2004 a little bit more than I played 2005. But after thinking about it, 2005 introduced some really fun things that 2004 didn't have that I kind of miss with baseball games. Of course, these games kind of introduce what you see in your modern day baseball games, so like your pitching meters and your throwing meters and stuff like that. But the thing that I really liked about this game was, so if you were the batter and when the pitcher goes to throw his pitch, every time that he throws a pitch, the ball would come out a different color. So like if it was white, then it was a fastball. If it was green, it was like a changeup or something like that. If it was red, then it was a slider or a curveball. And to me, that just made it. I mean, you still have to have skill, a little bit of hand-eye coordination, but to me, it made just hitting a little bit easier. And I kind of miss the simplicity and stuff like that with baseball games. Like we were kind of talking about before with Super Mega Baseball. I just miss, to me, hitting in baseball games has just gotten way too complicated. And I mean, yeah, sure, if I had time to put hours upon hours in it, I'd get better. But I just miss being able to just pick up a controller and swing, or press X to swing, and that'd be it.
Yeah. Just give me two hitting buttons. Give me a regular swing and a power swing.
Yes, yes. But yeah, so it was. I think this was the last. No, so this was the last MLB game to feature that the color pitching, but the two NCAA baseball games that came after this featured that. So I kind of miss it.
Yeah,
yeah.
Have I played this one at your house?
I don't have 05. I have 04. We played 04.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and let me mention that. I mean, even nowadays, these games, yeah, of course, these games are 19, 20 years old, but the graphics on these actually still look really, really good. So, for a PS2 game, anyways. So,
yeah.
had to include that.
Oh yeah. All right. My number two.
Number two.
I'm going WCW NWO Revenge.
It's my number two.
Your number two. Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Sure is.
So this is my favorite. This is actually widely regarded as one of the best wrestling games, along with right there on the screen, No Mercy. Which we watched a video the other day with current WWE wrestlers say which is the one they prefer. Essentially the same game, same developer, just one's WWE, one's or WWF, and one's WCW. So me being a WCW kid, I got this game, and I played this so much. It's not going back and looking at it now. Of course, it's not a visual marvel. Definitely blocky and a lot of polygons going on.
Yes,
but
yes.
It was just so fun. With you had, and I think the game mode I remember playing the most is even in WCW they had this game mode. It was the pretty much Royal Rumble, but they didn't call it a Royal Rumble. It was, I guess, a Battle Royal or something. Set it to like include every wrestler on the roster. So they would just come running out, and then I had a surefire way to eliminate them. I just Irish whip them across the rope, and then I'd run into the rope, and they'd go flying in outside. So,
hey, whatever works.
Yeah, this is a really fun one.
Yeah, this is another one to where the grappling system just feels really, really good and really fun to play with, and really easy to pick up. And you mentioned a battle royale where the whole roster, which says something because the roster on this game I feel like was really huge for N64 game. Like there was a ton, and I love how the menu was set up on this game. Is like all the wrestlers were separated into their factions or who they represented. So you had your NWO black and white, or you had your WCW guys, and you had your Ravens flock, and then of course even this game even had Japanese guys, like Japanese wrestlers. Of course, there's also some made up ones, but I mean, just the fact that this roster just felt super huge for that time is a testament to what they did with this game. This game was so much fun. I miss this game.
And then different wrestlers had different skins. So like Sting, you could get him as Wolfpack Sting. You could get him as white face paint Crow Sting, or you could even get him having a Surfer Sting. So
that
was really cool.
I mean, once again, like that just says a whole lot about what the developers were able to accomplish for that time with this game. It was so amazing. Yeah,
I have to see if I can dig my 64 out and blow in the cartridge and see if I can get this thing to run.
You ain't got to teach me with a fun time. All right, I guess that leaves both of our number ones, and I would not be surprised if you and I have the same number one.
Mine is, let's see, it is NASCAR Thunder. No.
Hey, don't say that. Chris Smith might get after you.
No, okay. I NASCAR Thunder is on my honorable mentions. I forget which year it was, or even it was one of the NASCAR games, probably early 2000s.
WWE 2K20.
Yeah,
that's my number one.
What was the year that they didn't release one? 21?
2021, I think. I think that was the All-Star Rumble or whatever the heck it was called.
Yeah, Battlegrounds or something.
Yeah, Battlegrounds. That's what it was. I don't know where the heck I got All-Star Rumble from.
But no, in all seriousness, my top, and I think yours is too, sports game is ESPN NFL 2K5.
Certainly is.
So why they stopped making this game? Actually, I do know why. Because because it's money. EA Sports reaching a deal with that to be exclusive maker. So 2K couldn't make them anymore, but it was so much better than any of the Maddens from just pure gameplay to the presentation was fantastic with I think
Yes.
even Chris Berman in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole halftime show was the whole ESPN thing, and then you had the crib where you could have your little.
I forgot about the crib. Yeah.
I love the crib where you collect different items through accomplishments and decorate it however you wanted to. So mine was just Panthers Fan City. And then another fun thing, which I don't know how many people ever played a full game of this, first person football.
Yep. Oh man, I had such. I mean, I like the idea of first person football, but I had such a tough time.
Oh yeah, it was hard
trying that. I don't think you mentioned it, but even with the crib, if you played long enough, you would get calls from celebrities, and they would challenge you to play their teams that they put together, which was another fun thing. So you had like Steve-O. Steve-O was one of the celebrities.
David Arquette.
David Arquette. There was a rapper that had I can't remember what it was. I remember those two though. So it was just a fun time. Like I said, the presentation of this game was top notch. Yeah. I mean, the gameplay was spectacular, but like this game would get you hyped before you even got into the game. Oh yeah. Chris Berman sitting there giving his analysis and everything. Like it felt like you were watching a real life NFL or ESPN NFL broadcast.
Yeah, like how many times playing Madden do you just as soon as the play's over, you're hitting X to get through it just to get to the next play? Like I wasn't doing that playing this. I wanted to see the replays and the halftime like analysis and stuff because it was just so entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just the fact that like during halftime, it showed the highlights from other games, and it was keeping real time stats and whatnot. Like, I don't know why EA got rid of all this stuff, and I don't know. It just drives me crazy to look at this game and just realize how much better this game was than most Madden. I mean, Madden 05 was a pretty decent game, but compared to 2K5, it's no match.
Yeah, I need to bust this game out because I found it at a local game store. I think you got it too, didn't you?
Yeah, we have it on PS2.
Yeah, so and I got it on. Well, I play it on my 360, but it's original Xbox. So I need to bust it out and play it a little bit.
Yeah, sitting here talking about it's got me a little hyped to go back and play it a little bit.
Yeah, and 2K, they are going to start releasing their own football games, and it just won't be licensed by the NFL. Or am I wrong in that?
I feel like it could be popular if it's anything like this, because I mean people are just going to go in and make licensed teams anyways. So
yeah,
I mean with this game, even though it is as old as it is, there's still people that are going off and making modern day rosters for this game anyways. I mean it's kind of a pain to get those rosters on there, but if you really want to get modern day rosters on this game, there is a way for you to do it.
Yeah. It said in 2020, 2K announced the NFL 2K series will return in 21 as an arcade video game. In May 21, it was announced it had been delayed until March 22nd. And here we are, February 23, and it's still nowhere in sight. So,
oh man,
yeah,
I might eventually see it.
Yeah,
because isn't EA's deal with the NFL coming up soon?
I'm not sure.
I feel like it's. I mean, it might not be within the next year or so, but I feel like it is really close. And I mean, believe it when you see it, but I have heard that the NFL has gotten kind of stale on what EA has been releasing. So if they're feeling the same way as the fans are, then maybe we will get another 2K NFL game in the future.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't mention it when we were talking about the college football game. Aren't they making a new, bringing that back?
Yep, I think that one's supposed to release next year at the earliest.
Okay. Yeah, I'm so ready for that because I personally like the NCAA games better than. I mean, of course, I didn't include any of them, but whatever. I just think they were more fun in the NFL. But yeah.
Yeah, that's my list. That's your list.
Do you have any honorable mentions?
I have a couple. I have a couple.
Okay.
I guess we can go through those if just to give you guys a general idea of the ones that were just outside our top 10. Would you like to go first, or let me go first?
It don't matter. I've got more than you do, I'm sure. So it's up to you. I mean, I can list mine real quick if you want.
Go ahead. Go ahead then.
All right. So I got Madden 2003 only because that's the first one I owned and played, and I played it a ton. And great soundtrack and just fun gameplay. Let's see, Tony Hawk's Underground. So this was a newer one. I think I played it on PS2. You made your own skater and developed his career and whatnot, and it had a bunch of fun, different like kind of set pieces to it.
Okay.
Ready to Rumble Boxing was a fun one. It was one of the first games I had for the PS1, I think.
Nice.
And they just had some fun characters. It was kind of more arcadey type boxing game.
Yeah.
And then finally, just the whole Mario series of sports games, tennis, golf, and I even include Mario Kart because it is an honorable mention. So.
And Mario Sluggers. There is Mario Sluggers.
Mario Super Sluggers. I haven't played Strikers, which is the soccer one, but I'm sure it's good too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Mario, so I mean, all those games are usually pretty fun. and I guess since you included it as an honorable mention, we can get away with including Mario Kart as a sports game.
Racing.
So I just have a couple. So first one, I'm gonna go WCW Mayhem, which was the first to last WCW game ever released. Not the best wrestling game, but it's one that I had a lot of fun with. So
yeah, I had that one too.
Yeah. Backstage Assault was not good, but I had a lot of fun with Mayhem. You mentioned it earlier. I have FIFA 17 on my honorable mentions, mainly because that's probably the FIFA game that I played the most of, and like you mentioned. It's the first one with any kind of story mode, which I thought was a nice touch. So, speaking of FIFA, I also have the 2010 FIFA World Cup game on my list because I enjoyed that one. I know why they kind of merged FIFA with started including World Cup stuff on the FIFA games, but I kind of miss the days that they just released standalone World Cup games. I like the presentation of those games. I feel like they're a lot of fun. And then my last honorable mention is WWE 2K14, which I think you mentioned earlier too when you were talking about 13. But just the WrestleMania playthrough was a lot of fun on this game, and I feel like this is probably one of the best 2K games. Like this game gave me and a lot of people hope that 2K was going to do well with the WWE license, and then they just kind of made a few good games and then crapped the bed the last couple of years. But this game was phenomenal.
Yeah. Sorry, I was reading a text message. I got a little distracted.
It's okay.
But yeah. Oh, it's I could go on and on with just honorable mention after honorable mention. I feel like.
Yeah. So before we get done completely talking about games. I did ask this question on our Facebook page and got a few answers. So if you want to go through those, we can go through those.
Yeah.
So Chris Smith actually had a pretty lengthy list of ones that he liked. He included NASCAR 2004. King Griffey Jr. presents Major League Baseball, which I think is one that I kind of sort of played with. It was on the Super Nintendo. I don't remember a whole lot of it, but I do remember a little bit of that one. NASCAR Dirt to Daytona. Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX.
I played that one.
Did you play that one?
Yeah, I played it. Didn't have it, but I think I played it at my brother's house.
He also included Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. So there you go. And then he put NHL 96. And then our boy Josh Blackwater included NFL Blitz. So he must have been a really big NFL Blitz fan.
Yeah, which Blitz was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Blitz was a whole lot of fun. Have you tried to go back and play it recently though? Like I actually played an arcade cabinet of it, and like I'm so used to modern football game controls to where you have like the X button or the O button to throw to. Like you literally have to be looking at this receiver to throw the ball at NFL Blitz.
Yeah,
like it took me a little bit to get used to.
Yeah, I feel that's the bad part about going back and playing older games, because you get they really make the controls better now, but so you're used to current good controls, and then you go back and you're like, oh, this is really janky.
Yeah, but like I mean, it's nostalgia. That nostalgia will get you. Just remember the good things about it.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that was all that we got on our Facebook page. So I just figured I'd give those guys a shout out. Anything else you want to add before we sign off?
No, I think we're good.
All right. Okay. Well, guys, appreciate you tuning in. First time on YouTube. First time video recording one of these episodes. Something that we've been talking about for a long time, trying to figure it out. Being a part of the Variety Sports Network has allowed us to finally start to do that. So we appreciate their support and what they've done to help us. First off, if you would like to follow their social medias, then you just look up Variety Sports or Variety Sports Network on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, which YouTube is where we will find this video. If you prefer to, or if you want to also follow our personal social medias, then we're on Facebook at Cheering from the Cheap Seats. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Cheer Cheap Seats. We're also on TikTok at Cheap Seats Podcast. I think that's it.
Yeah, and of course, if podcast format, audio only is your speed, you can find us on any podcast platform that you prefer. Spotify, Apple Podcasts are the two big ones. And also, you can go back and listen to all of our old episodes. They're on there. So for this show, Cheering from the Cheap Seats is going to be on two feeds. It's going to be on our own, so you don't have to, if you are already subscribed, you don't have to do anything different. Just like and subscribe, leave a rating if you can. You can also find us under the Variety Sports Network feed on Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever. And be sure to check out some of their other shows too. You know, there's a ton of them right now, and they're like we're growing every day.
Definitely. I'm come listen for us, but stick around and give some of them other guys some listens too.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, really appreciate it. We should be back here in a couple weeks. Between that, we will be releasing a new episode of the Jobber and Jabroni Show, our new wrestling show that we started doing. So be on the lookout for that. Here on this show, though, I'm not entirely sure what we're going to be doing, I know that the weekend following the release of our show, we will be going to a college baseball game, but that review won't be coming out until after that. So yeah,
Right.
not entirely sure what we're going to do for our next episode of Tune In for the Cheap Seats, but I'm sure it'll be something fun.
Yeah, we'll come up with something.
Yeah, we always do.
Yeah.
That's our motto. We always do. All right, y'all. We appreciate it. You know, I know we say that all the time, but we appreciate the support, appreciate the listening. But yeah, we'll catch you guys next time. Keep cheering.
See ya.